Hello and welcome everybody. Anyone can play backgammon. The rules are simple, and common sense plus some basic guidelines will get you a long way. But only few can consistently play at the highest level, and even Mochy, arguably the best player in the world, has some chinks in his armor, like time management.
Again, Mochy always tests himself in striving for perfection, but
even
sometimes this one seems a bit extreme. Match as a whole.
seems like some really tricky games in this match,
a
Bill.
number of them.
Yeah, I know.
A number of them, and here he is down to 20% of his clock, and less than 50% of the match. Really more like in total, more like a third of the match, and he's down to he's used 80% of his time.
But how bad is it, really? Where is the match exactly at this point, time-wise? 70%, 60%, 50%? Can we quantify time management? I think we can. A game consists of turns. In each turn, a player needs to consider cube action, shake the dice, roll, and play a move. But they might not have cube access, and the move might be forced or trivial. So some actions cost no time or very little. In short, we want to count decisions which actually take time, which is exactly what we do when computing PR, or my version ZR. And this kind of data I already have. Tens of thousands of bot games from each away score for which I logged decisions. So all we need to do really is assign weights. Say that shaking and rolling is 1 unit, and it seems like it really takes about 1 second for Mochy and Mark, and 1 millisecond for Ryan Rebello. If so, I decided making a move takes 5 units. I know not everyone will be happy with my choice, but that's my gut feeling, for a reasonable average value. Some moves Mochy plays immediately, on others he agonizes forever. I did play a little with other values, and the overall picture stays the same, so I don't feel it's a deal breaker. Same for cube action, only worse. Experts just roll on most of the time, nothing to consider, and sometimes they stop for a bit. This no consideration is partially reflected in the criteria selecting which positions contribute to ZR and which don't. And while it's generous in including positions which experts find trivial, usually there are considerably fewer cube decisions compared to shakes. In this game, for instance, there are 21 shakes for yellow and 22 for blue, but 16 move decisions each. Dances and irrelevant moves don't count. And there's only 3 cube decisions for yellow and only 1 the take for blue. So I decided to set cube decisions at 3 units. Remember, this is the average of several no need to think positions and a longer pause when getting near a double or an actual double take or drop. And those weights are easy to change because the hard to get raw data stays the same. So, using these weights 5, 3, 1, I computed the average number of units from each away score to the end of the match. 15 away comes at 2203, and 11 away, 15 away is 1861. So I'm going to declare that the first game, ending in a gammon for Mochy on a 2 cube, spans 16% of the match, and we have 84% to go. And Mochy used 6 minutes and 3 seconds, 23% of his time. So already behind. And Mark used 2 minutes 16 seconds, 7.5% of the time. So only half of what he can reasonably use. We can put all these numbers, the percentage of match remaining at the start of each away score, in one table, like that, and see what the data thinks about Mochy's situation when his clock reached 20%. When starting the 8 away, 11 away game, says the table, 61% of the match remains. But now we are in the middle of this game, and Mochy is owning a 2 cube, with what looks like either a gammon for Mark or a lucky win for Mochy. So either way, we are on the way to 50%. So it might not be as bad as Bill thought, but very uncomfortable. The game indeed ended at 8 away, 7 away, 50% remaining, with Mochy's clock at 4:38, 15%. Here's a chart of the full match showing the player's clock compared to the model, which is in green. The x-axis shows the match score, the left y-axis shows the clock with Mochy times highlighted, and the right y-axis shows match percentage remaining. So we see that Mochy is behind right from the get-go, and his real troubles begin at 5-2, 10 away, 13 away, long before Bill's comment. We also see where the hole gets deeper. It's in these games Mochy lost. He fights the hardest when defending tough positions. And we can also see how he can get away with it. Starting from 7-8, he adjusts and quickens his pace, resulting in a controlled descent to the landing strip. Mark's time handling, by the way, looks exemplary, and Mochy might have been in a lot of trouble if the last game ended in a simple win and not in a gammon. 2 away, 3 away is a whopping 20% left, and even 2 minutes are only 6.5% of 30 minutes. There's lots more I can say about this table, but nothing you will find important. Here's just one observation. When do we get to the middle of the match? It's actually easier to see on a match 213 because the numbers align perfectly. Here the red line shows the transition from above 50% to below 50%. So the cutoff, so to speak, is 4, where 4 equals 13, the match length, minus 5 divided by 2. You pass the middle, reaching 13 away, 4 away, 12 away, 4 away, down to 9 away, 4 away. And from there it's simple. The aways sum to match length. 9 plus 4 is 13, 8 away, 5 away, 8 plus 5 is 13, 7, 6, 13, etc. It's the same at 15. The cut is at 15 minus 5 divided by 2, 5. And you pass midpoint at 9 away, 6 away, 8 away, 7 away, etc. Only note that it's slightly off. The red line shows the data and the blue dotted line what I described. But it's really close. There are similar lines for, say, 25% of the match and 75%. And last, I promise, you might be tempted to think that the sum of the away scores provide a good estimate for match remaining, as in 7 plus 8 divided by 15 plus 15, 15 to 30 is indeed half, 50%. And you are partially right. This works to within 2 to 3%, but only in the central strip. Outside, it's not a good estimate. I worked out a formula which gives the values to within 2%, but it's useless, since you can't do it in your head, and you never want to compute it over the board anyway. And that's all for today. Mark is in the video, but you don't need to smash the like button. Just give it a gentle tap, will you? Adieu.